Hello, friends, and welcome into Outreach Radio Chicago. I'm your host, Michael Mercado, and I want to thank you so much for making us a part of your day. On today's show, we have a returning guest, the energetic Dr. Cass Ingram joins us today, and he gives us some information about how we can deal with sleep issues. Can't fall asleep, having a hard time staying asleep. Well, today's show is all about natural ways that you could fix that problem. You can follow me everywhere in the universe. I'm on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like the page on Facebook at Outreach Radio Chicago. We're on YouTube, so subscribe at Mike Mercado2333. We're also on SoundCloud if you want to download past episodes. Just look up Michael Mercado. And before we get to the interview, I want to thank everybody who joined us at Empty Bowls for First Slice. It was an awesome benefit. It was able to help feed people in need. I hope you guys all enjoyed yourself. Please look up First Slice Cafe if you want more information about some of the cool stuff they're doing. Also, if you're interested in the neighborhood, coming up April 30th at Dirty Nelly's, it is the Better Benefit concert, shattering the silence of sexual violence. This exciting all-ages concert will start Haley Reinhart from American Idol and is hosted by B96 Roman, and Wedding Band will open. Join Angela Rose, founder of PAVE. If you make it, please empower others by joining us for a great cause. Invite everybody. You can look up more information on Facebook. It is the Better Benefit concert, shattering the silence of sexual violence, April 30th at Dirty Nelly's. Go ahead, guys. Look it up. It's a great cause, and it's something we can all rally around, just like you guys did, trying to help Chicago's hunger problem a few weeks back with First Slice's Empty Bowls. We're trying to just make sure that we get good information, positive information, and things that can help out our community out there to you, the listeners, the great listeners of Outreach Radio Chicago. And because you are so awesome, we're going to bring in our awesome guest, Dr. Cass Ingram, joins us next on Outreach Radio Chicago. Stay tuned. You can follow us everywhere in the universe. We're on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like the radio show page on Facebook at Outreach Radio Chicago. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Mike Mercado2333 for all our cool videos. And we're on SoundCloud for past episodes. Just look up Michael Mercado. And one of our more popular guests, he is our favorite doctor. He is Dr. Cass Ingram, and he's given us some awesome information on two of his books already, The Cannabis Cure and The Cure is in the Cupboard. And if you want more information on those books, you go to 1-800-295-3737 or CassIngram.com and AmericanWildFoods.com. But I know for a lot of us, we suffer from one big issue, and I'm actually one of these guys right now, and when this came down the wire, I really wanted to jump on it. We all have problems falling asleep, staying asleep. It's one of the biggest problems a lot of us have, and especially with the way our lives are going now. We're either working, we're running around, we're always doing something. We never take a chance to really relax. Today, our favorite doctor gives us some natural ways that are in our everyday lives of how we can fix this deficiency. He's Dr. Cass Ingram, and he's giving us some knowledge. Dr. Cass, how are you? Welcome back.
My friend, good to be back again, chatting away big time. Chicago, the big city.
Oh, you know what? And you know how it is with us, where it's always going 100 miles an hour. There's always something to keep you up.
Oh, it's crazy. This insomnia. Hey, you know what? I'm an insomniac, too.
It's the worst, right? Like, although for us right now with the Blackhawks, when they were playing so late, it was the one time it pays off for us, right? But what about the everyday stuff? It's tough,
with
right?
Aging, the insomnia increases. When I was even 18, I don't know if there was a worry button. I had a hard time sleeping. I think a lot of teens even struggle sometimes. And so it's kind of like a disease, isn't it, itself? And there's nothing worse. You're up all day, and then you want to go to sleep so you can get up the next day, right? So anyway, I started doing some research when I was writing the book, The Cannabis Cure, about the medicinal properties of hemp. And one of the big properties, right, is relaxation, and people smoke pot for that reason. That's a whole other thing. Now, we're not talking about that so much. We're talking more about the extract that was used. Did you know, for instance, that in Victorian times, I'm talking about 1880, right? From about 1880 to 1930, it was official in the doctor's black bag to have cannabis extract for a bad case of the nerves.
Really?
Yeah. And for insomnia and glaucoma and migraine headaches and tremors and nervousness. So I started doing the research, and I got excited about it. So fortunately, there's a company in Europe that was able to make a crude, you know how I like the crude raw extract using just carbon dioxide, supercritical, no solvents, of the hemp stalks. You know, they harvest the hemp stalks for rope. We can't do it here. It's illegal.
Right.
We can't have hemp rope, hemp cloth, hemp paper. We can't make it here. We got to buy it from Europe or Canada. But that's a tradition over there, see? And so they grow it organically, and then they've got these stalks, so they extract that, and they make a green muck, if you will. And I got some of that muck, and I started fiddling with it, and then put some wild oregano with it. You know, I'm the oregano guy. And then I took it, and I tell you what, man, oh man, well, this stuff is good stuff. My productivity increased. I mean, how do you increase that? And I was able to write 2 books in about 90 days. Wow. Including The Cannabis Cure. So I attribute my ability to handle difficult tasks. Anybody out there have difficult tasks? How about, and my ability to be more balanced? Anybody out there really balanced to this stuff?
So what intrigues me is, like you said, back in those days where it was part of their culture, it's in the medicine bag, and you would think in today's day and age, where we're all going a million miles an hour, there's always something for us to do, we would be open to these type of things. Why is it that we're so fast to take, let's say, a melatonin or any type of pill that will make us, knock out some NyQuil ZZZ, but we're not willing to take? Where's the disconnection coming from? Where's the wall at that people don't understand?
The disconnect is the big pharma and big business and big government, where something that's this effective is a threat to the SSRIs and the whole scheme. So they completely obliterated it from the United States. And I'm telling you what, every doctor's bag had the cannabis extract because there was nothing more dependable for a bad case of the nerves. Can you imagine? And for glaucoma and migraine headache and for tremors and irritability and anxiety and inability to handle stress. So, God, we lost it for 100 years. So I'm absolutely adamant we got to get it back.
So what? And then you talk about all the different, because the last time we had you on, we were talking about the Cannabis Cure, and right away the first disclaimer we talked about is we're not talking about the Cheech and Chong, all that kind of stuff. We're talking about the actual benefits of extracting from the plants, doing the scientific research it takes for it. So with the fact that we're talking about your nerves, glaucoma, all this. Why is it then it was so easy for the adaptation of pills and just saying yes to this, and that, when it's literally this thing is
right there in your face?
Exactly.
Right there in your face. Well, see, it wasn't that easy, but because it was prohibited, it became easy for Big Pharma. Because to be honest with you, hemp extract, we can call it cannabis extract, covers about 80% of what the pharmaceutical drugs do, the ones for the brain.
Wow.
So I'm talking from stroke recovery to stroke itself, post-stroke, all the way to MS and Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, then going down to, say, tremors and epilepsy, then now to the neuroses, anxiety, psychosis, schizophrenia, and then just down to just can't handle stress and internally agitated and need some help. That whole category, right? Hemp takes care of that. So what happened was people got confused. See, that's what we're trying to do, is unwind the confusion. They matched marijuana and hashish with hemp extract. They matched it with cannabis extract. Not the same thing.
Right. They found a scapegoat.
Yeah, they did. So marijuana got the goat, and a big goat, because alcohol's bad. Tobacco's really bad. And marijuana is not good, but those things kill a lot of people
every day.
Yeah. But people didn't know that they're cousins. The industrial hemp is not the same as marijuana. It's a different plant species. So the cousin doesn't have the THC. It's not addictive. You're not going to get high. You could take 1,000 drops of the extract. There's no high. You're going to have a benefit to your nerves, if that's a high. So now, unfortunately, we have to get this cleaned up. And see, the medical marijuana thing doesn't help that much because that's for people who want to smoke pot.
And that's where I was leading into, because right away when people are going to hear this interview, this conversation, they're going to be like, well, here go two guys just talking about, legalizing this and that. Well, obviously that's not true, because right now, if you're just joining us, Dr. Cass Ingram is joining us, the author of two really good books, The Cannabis Cure and The Cures in the Cupboard. If you want more information, go to 1-800-295-3737 or www.cassingram.com or American Wildlife Foods. But this isn't just extract or you telling somebody, hey, go to the gas station and get some papers. This is the oil of oregano is in your house, cinnamon is in your house, and this extract is something natural to add into your program. It's not you telling somebody to pull
to get a card and go get the right to grow your own pot in the backyard and then dry it and roll it up. And no, I'm not a big fan of smoking anything anyway. So no, I'm talking about what was in the Victorian doctors' era, and the British and the Canadian and the Irish doctors, which they reliably made an extract from cannabis plants. Sometimes it might have been the industrial, sometimes it may have been from the marijuana species, but they made the extract, and 0 people became addicted. Not -0. So how's it going to be an issue? Come on. And then the other thing is that this is part of nature. Our brain has the endocannabinoid system. We talked about that last time. You got to feed it. And it just so happens that cannabis is the richest source of these cannabinoids to feed this system. But it's only one of about 50 known plants that are rich. And what's curious to me is that the animals consume a lot of cannabinoid. I don't see them going on, stoned around here and there. They're consuming it, in bark, buds of trees, berries, fresh shoots of greens, tips of tree growth. They're all rich in cannabinoids. Now, we're consuming them, too, for feel-goody, but we don't know it. What could be more feel-goody than cinnamon dust in a cappuccino or cinnamon in hot milk or in bakery? How about some spiced tea? It's got some cinnamon and clove in it. You dip it in the hot water. They're all rich in cannabinoids. And what would a pizza be without the oregano? And the oregano is super rich. And then basil pesto sauce is rich. Rosemary on lamb. Rosemary is rich. Sage stuffed in... We love sage. It's rich. Hops are rich in there, and beer. Taking cannabinoids because it's a feel-goody stuff. Now, can you imagine what would happen if you take the extract, put it under the tongue, right? Get a big, powerful dose, the kind of power and sense of good and feel-good that you get? It takes you to a whole nother level. This improves your game. Now, I'm not talking about the golf game. Maybe they'll do that too. I don't know. I'm talking about the game of life. Yeah. Now, so that's one thing. The second is these other things besides hemp. Now, for example, hempenol, which is what you want, that's got the oregano with the hemp together. So you've got the two extracts of the cannabinoid-rich, and they complement each other. It was no coincidence that they used to mix oregano with the other stuff,
Right.
Now, then you have these other cannabinoid-rich, which is the cinnamon, the chamomile, the hops, and those are in the hempenol PM. You see, and that's what I found. That look, I'm the other night I was up till 2 or 3. I couldn't figure it out. Why can't I get to sleep? So I got frustrated. I took this hempenol PM. I said, "Look, Mr. PM," I drank a third of the bottle, and it just obliterated me. I'm just gone. It was so nice to get out of that.
I bet. Now, it's funny because the last time we had you on, too, it all seems to be finally tying all in, because one of the main things that we first talked about was when you get sick and all the things that you can find in your house that can make you feel better. Then we had talking about the cannabis cure in that book about, what exactly the oil will do and all the benefits of the hemp. But now it comes almost full circle with not feeling healthy, being sick, and then not falling asleep. I've actually for the last all of April basically, I've been dealing with a lot of sinus issues, and it right away the first thing that goes is your sleep.
Yeah, see, this is true. There's something called pathological insomnia, where there's an illness or a disease process, and it causes so much inflammation, so much corruption that you can't sleep. And so, well, in this case, it would help to take the Hempenol PM, but what would also help you would take the regular strength. Say, I got an extra bottle or two. I'm going to send you some.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Cindy. We're going to do a double-blind study, which is real simple with natural. We're just going to close our eyes and take an herb.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you take it, and you take that regular strength, actually the super strength, during the day for the sinus, and you hold it under the tongue. And then you put some on a Q-tip. It's going to be hot, and put it up there. Cook that, and then take the other stuff at night. And I think you need to give it a go. To get yourself in balance. See, the thing is the cannabinoids. You have the endocannabinoid system, which means internal endo, and so they're in there on the axon area there, and so you want to feed those. Because most of us don't have a good balance in our nervous system. Most of us tend towards worry. Most of us, I'm speaking directly to your people now, worry to the point of creating almost a psychosis, an irritation. I want to shut that down. I want to shut down all the anxiety that's unnecessary by feeding the system. And I'm not just talking about Hempenol. I'm talking about everything in my book. And I'm talking about basil pesto sauce and oregano and rosemary and sage. And I'm not a big fan of beer, but hops are in that. And then, of course, you've got the issue of the cloves. They're all something we should be using.
And Dr. Cass, you've always been on this, right? Like this isn't new. We're trying to get onto because this is one of the things that
I created the trend. Nobody created it. That's true. I'm not writing anything.
Because that was the big thing that one of my listeners, when we did the cannabis cure, was talking about is, well, obviously he's been around for a while, but is he, just trying to get onto the train, the money train right now, quote unquote, because this is where everybody's going on. But this is tested, trialed, and fought for. This is not...
Okay, let's address that because nobody in the whole world since early history brought... in fact, nobody, even then brought a raw extract of hemp. All the CBD oil, which is trendy. I'm not a huge fan. All of it, well, let's put 80%. 80% of the CBD oil on the market is solvent extracted. Okay, the solvents are acetone, hexane, butane, which is lighter fluid, honest to God.
Wow.
Now, almost all the other CBD oil is heat-treated. I'm not a fan. Nobody, until this Hempenol was brought forward, no product was raw, crude extract, unaltered. That's why this is so sophisticated, why it's so effective, why it has no side effects, why I can recommend it. I can't recommend CBD oil to everybody because, for example, I like to experiment, so I took the CBD oil. I couldn't get out of my chair.
Wow.
Honest to God, it was like being stoned because they manipulate it too much. I'm not going to get addicted to it, but I had, what I did? I took 20 drops of oil of oregano under my tongue and I popped out.
Right.
So that's why I recommended the people, I said, look, if you're going to bring this on the market, put the wild oregano in with it. And that's what's so important. Plus, trend, nobody ever created Hempenol PM. This is a trend. Nobody ever created a specific hemp extract for insomnia, combining these other components. Now, I'll tell you about creating information.
Yeah.
What the book does is it lays out the case that they got it wrong. When they started concentrating on CBD oil and isolating it and manipulating it, when they said that cannabidiol was the active ingredient, the book says no. That's only one key. The key active ingredient is the same stuff that's in cinnamon, oregano, basil, hops, why we love those things. It's called carothalin. We talked about that. Carothalin is the key. Carothalin is the substance that they test the dogs with so that they can smell hashish in an airport.
Okay.
It's the smell of marijuana. It's the smell of cinnamon. It's the odor of cloves. It's the odor of oregano. The same molecule is in all of those. Now, I'm telling you this is the case because, for example, hemp is good for glaucoma, but so is oregano. They both have chlorofylline. Hemp is good for migraines, but so is oregano. They both have chlorofylline. Hemp is good for blood sugar control, but so is cinnamon. They both have chlorofylline. That's the key thing. Now, I'll tell you, I proved that. There were a number of studies done on the elegans worm. It's an elegant worm because it's the worm that if you can make it live longer, if you give resveratrol or something and it lives longer, then you can say, hey, resveratrol can extend life. You give olive oil. So they couldn't get much to make it live longer, but the one molecule that always made the worm live longer is the beta-carophylline. So, no, this is new information.
And it's great, though, because I'm glad somebody brought that up because I think sometimes it gets lost in interviews and things like that, we do things because we write books, but at the end of the day, right, it's about making somebody's life better. Like, that's always the end of any doctor who's ever taken that type of oath or that type of responsibility. The job has always been to get better, to learn, and if you come up with an idea and you find something else works better with it or works better than it, you got to be willing to change it, and that's what you've been doing. That's
right. You try to your best, and hopefully you do, to follow the Hippocratic Oath, and of course the big thing with natural herbs that have been used historically, all you're doing is bringing back the same trends that have been used, but that are not popular. So if you can popularize, here's the key. Let's say that this gets through and we are able to popularize, for example, hempenol to the general public. It's going to open the door for, for Californians, for Washington State, for Coloradoans to make this stuff so that it can generate the economy. It's going to expose the federal government for its wrongdoing in prohibiting industrial hemp. I believe that when people get behind this and they start to cure, if you will, their kids' epilepsy, autism, their brain cancer, and some of these things, I say the word cure. No company can.
Yeah.
But that's freedom of speech from me. It's going to create a groundswell that is going to lead to the growth of these things by our farms, which would be great.
And I think it's what fascinates me and what drives this show is, I don't know what exactly is going to happen 20, 30 years from now. All of this right now, to me, though, at some point, the next generation, the generation after that, will stand on on doctors like you and other great people we've had on this show will stand on your work, on your shoulders, and make them better and take it to levels that nobody right now will ever get to see. But that's not what it's about. And that's the one thing I think I've learned from the good guests that we have on here is it's not about just them and what they get to see or what they'll see get fulfilled, but what generations around the road will see.
Down the road. Because, again, my goal is that hemp extract, no matter, even if somebody else, I don't care who makes it, make a good quality one, not solvent extracted, whatever, CBD or hempenol, whatever it is. The goal here is to bring back an official U.S. drug, natural medicine, that's invaluable for the thing that we use the drugs for, the SSRIs and the insomnia drugs. Why not have an alternative? What if you're on SSRIs and you want to get off? They cause brain damage. They kill brain cells. I'm talking about Zoloft, Xanax, Valium, Paxil, that category.
The thing they get rid of like candy.
Yeah. And so what if you have addiction to tobacco and alcohol, to whatever, marijuana, and you want opiates, you want to get off? Well, hemp extract is effective, and the science demonstrates that. So I see your show, as being instrumental in giving people that alternative information. If they don't want to buy anything, they don't want to even buy a book, hey, just research it on the internet. Yeah.
No,
CassIngram.com doesn't ask you to buy much of anything. You could go there and you could look at the YouTubes, you could look at the articles, and hopefully also, I'll just give a resource, the
Yeah.
people who make hempenol, 1-800-243-5242, 800-243-5242. Ask them for their comparison sheet of CBD oil versus raw crude extract of hemp. Ask them for information. Don't buy anything, but see what they can mail to you, you know.
Yeah, and then if you want more information, I mean, Dr. Cass has so many resources for all you guys listening. One of the books, The Cannabis Cure, a great read. Make sure you guys check it out and check the past episode where we talked about that. And The Cure's in the Cupboard, another past episode. Check that out. You could call 1-800-295-3737 and CassIngram.com or AmericanWildFoods.com. CassIngram.com, AmericanWildFoods.com, 1-800-295-3737. The Cure's in the Cupboard, The Cannabis Cure. He is the great Dr. Cass Ingram. Doc, thank you so much.
You betcha, my pleasure.
And we'll be right back on Outreach Radio Chicago. And that'll do it for us here on Outreach Radio Chicago. Another big thank you to Dr. Cass Ingram. He's one of our favorite guests, always brings the energy and information, and that's why we continue to have him on, because apparently all you guys like him too. So if you want to know more information, just go to www.cassingram.com or AmericanWildFoods.com. Call 1-800-295-3737 for more information on the book, The Cure is in the Cupboard, or The Cannabis Cure. I hope this is giving you a chance to get a little information and maybe help yourselves out. So again, thank you to Dr. Cass Ingram. Always a pleasure to have on the show. But that'll do it for us, guys. I am out of here. You can follow me everywhere in the universe. I'm on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like the radio show on Facebook at Outreach Radio Chicago. We're on YouTube, so subscribe to me at Mike Mercado 2333. We're also on SoundCloud, so download the episodes. Just look up Michael Mercado. For everybody here at Outreach Radio Chicago, thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Take us home, Hav. Hey everybody, Mike Mercado here from Outreach Radio Chicago, and I just want to thank you all for all the support you have given us on the brand new show. If someone you know wants to get the word out on a fundraiser, charity, or foundation in your local community, please send us an email at outreachradiochicago@gmail.com or send me one personally at mmercado@newswebradio.net. Or you can tweet me at mmercado2333, and don't forget to like our Facebook page at Outreach Radio Chicago. From right here at the studios, we'll see you next time on Outreach Radio Chicago.